Hey guys, welcome to today's video. We're going to be breaking down the Dolphins run game behind Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson Jr., and Salvon Ahmed, especially against the Bills, and how they can use that in the coming weeks to get into the playoffs in a quick film session. Before we get started, please drop a quick like and a sub on today's video. That would really help my channel grow. I'd really appreciate it. With that said, let's dive right into the video, and I hope you enjoy. So like I do in all these film sessions, I start with the stats, and for the Dolphins last time out, they were very effective on the ground. Raheem Mostert, 17 carries, 136 yards. Salvon Ahmed, 6 carries for 43 yards and a touchdown. And overall, the reason that the Dolphins found success in the passing attack was because they had a very successful rushing attack, especially in the first half. And that goes down to Raheem Mostert, more importantly, the right side of this offensive line. We're going to break down all that in a film session, but I really want to emphasize the importance of this run game. Without the run game, this Dolphins offense is going to be pass, 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 pass. And we saw what happened against the Chargers. We saw what happened in the second half against the Bills when the Dolphins stopped running the ball. And we saw what happened 2 weeks ago, in that first big loss to the Niners, where the Dolphins were all out of sorts offensively because they couldn't throw the ball and they didn't have a rushing attack to help them balance that out. So this is how you fix the Dolphins offense. You run the ball effectively. I'll break down how the Dolphins do that, and we'll focus in on this film against the Bills. Let's dive right into it. Okay, so first play of the game for the Dolphins, pretty much. 1st and 10. This is a really effective run. If the Dolphins are able to have this effectiveness on the ground like they did against Buffalo, they're going to be super productive. This is what you're going to see here. I want you to watch the right side of this offensive line, and I'm telling you, Robert Hunt and Brandon Shell had a fantastic game against the Bills on the right side of the O-line. Number 68 and number 71 for Miami over here. This is going to be Brandon Shell. This is going to be Robert Hunt right there. But also, Alec Ingold is so crucial in the run game. And you're going to just watch it right here. It's going to be a pretty simple scheme, really. All these guys to the right side of this offense line are just going to be blocking to the right. But you're going to see how the Dolphins are effective in sealing the edge, right? And really giving Raheem Mostert a lane to run through. Because a lot of times, right, like Brandon Shell will get his guy, Rob Hunt will get his guy, but there's no room to go, right? Because they're not creating any space. But on this play, they do. This is what happens here, right? So we're going to see number one thing that you're going to realize here. Look at this awesome job by Brandon Shell, just completely sealing the edge here. Number 2, you've got Robert Hunt coming up here to make this block, and then you've just got Alec Ingold coming up here to block the other guy that Robert Hunt doesn't block. So you're going to see it right here, right? You've got Williams the center, you've got Jones here, and then you've got Ingold here. Everyone is blocked. Absolutely awesome job by the Dolphins. Once again, awesome job by Shell keeping the outside contained. And then what does this do? As all these guys are blocked, all Mostert does with his 4.3 speed, remember, he was a track athlete guy, he's just going to see that and cut right through to the open hole and run for a big gain, right? He's fast. And if you can get him to the open field, as soon as you give him any space past the defensive line, he's got space to run. This is an awesome job by the Dolphins offensive line here, especially the right side, really blocking, number 1. And then number 2, giving Raheem Mostert an opportunity to have the football in open space, and he picks up big yardage for the first down to move the chains for Miami. And this is a really simple concept. Once again, the Dolphins don't want to really do too much when they're running the football, right? They want to keep it simple, right? And it starts with technical but really solid foundational blocking. This is going to be a simple just play to the outside, right? They're going to try and run just behind the tackle in Shell over here to the right side. And they're going to have Durham Smythe over there too. And those are going to be the 2 crucial blocks here. And you're going to see those right here in a moment. Number 1, what does Brandon Shell do? Takes his guy completely out of the equation. Another awesome block by him. And also Durham Smythe, as I mentioned just before, taking his guy out of the equation. You're going to see how far he pushes him downfield, right? The simple play here is it's just going to be a handoff, and it's going to be a find the lane and go. And the thing is, when Raheem Mostert has space, he is such an underrated rusher of the football. Remember, when this guy is healthy, he is explosive. He's electric. He's really productive with the football, and he's going to do that on this big run right here. You see, number 1, great block here. I mentioned that. Good block here. Nice block here up in the second level. And what does Mostert see that? Makes one guy miss, makes 2 guys miss, and then he's off to the races. Makes another guy miss. Look at the speed Mostert possesses in the open field. This is huge for the Dolphins offense. They don't have to be always throwing the ball 60, 75 yards downfield to get the results. And look at him, still going. Taron Johnson's got like 5 arms on him. Finally drags him down inside the 10. Dolphins would kick the field goal here. They've got to get a touchdown, and maybe they stay in this game. But just that is the kind of explosive plays that the Dolphins need. And don't get me wrong, explosive throws and explosive passes are awesome. They're part of the best best plays in all of football. But explosive runs really set the tone because just runs like this. One guy misses, 2 guys misses, 3 guys can't catch up to him. Takes Taron Johnson 50,000 seconds to take him down. These are the kinds of runs that win you football games, especially in the fourth quarter. I know this was in the first quarter, but these kinds of runs really change the complexion of what your offense can do. And the more I watch from Brandon Shell, the more I like him in the run game. The Dolphins really need to just involve him more, I think. Running behind him, making plays where he needs to, be a big part. But it's also Durham Smythe. Durham Smythe is a great run blocking tight end too, and you've got Teron Armstead who helps out on this play here too. This is a total effort here by the Dolphins. And what's going to happen is it's going to be Salvon Ahmed right on this play. You're going to have Shell setting the solid block here. You're going to have Durham Smythe coming up here and setting a block here, and then you're going to have Teron Armstead setting a block here. And what that does is that creates a lane in between these guys where Salvon Ahmed's going to be able to cut through and ends up scoring a touchdown, if you can understand my absolute Scrabble here. Anyway, on this play here, could be a little bit of a hold. Doesn't matter. It's a good block. It's a solid block. You've got a solid block here by Shell. All the offensive linemen are blocking effectively. When you have that happen, that creates up space. Look how far downfield these guys are. Look how far downfield they are blocking. That's incredible. And before Salvon Ahmed really even gets the ball and makes a cut, he's got a wide open lane because of all these big blocks downfield. When the offensive line's having fun with it, it's so good for the run game, and it's so helpful for this offense. You see Smythe get the block there, right? Big block here, another, maybe hold, but whatever. And Salvon Ahmed makes one guy miss, makes a move, gets in for the score. That's a touchdown. Awesome play by Salvon Ahmed. I mean, that's just the kind of effectiveness. If you can have these touchdown runs in the red zone, it takes pressure off Tua, it takes pressure off the offense, it makes the offensive line happy and hungry, and that's what you need if this Dolphins team wants to make the playoffs. And I know I've been hyping Brandon Shell up even more, but I'm going to hype him up once again. And this wasn't the cleanest block from him, but this is a big block. This is going to be another simple idea here. It's going to be, you're backed up in your own end, right? You're on your own 11-yard line, right? 1st and 10. Third quarter, you need to move the ball down the field. What do? You go with what's been working all night and you run the football, right? And if the Dolphins can have this run game and they can marry it with their explosive passing game, this offense can be so lethal. And we've seen them take a little bit of a step back in the past couple of weeks. And I guess against the Bills, they didn't really take a step back because they ended up putting 29 points up on the board, which is a lot of points. But against the Chargers, against the 49ers, the passing game just wasn't there. It wasn't there because the linebackers were sitting down. They were sitting, deeper into their defense, right? And there wasn't enough space between the safety and the linebacker for Tua to get the ball in there to Waddle and Tyreek Hill effectively across the field, right? That just wasn't happening. When you get the run game going like this, that can happen. That allows for space in behind the linebackers for Waddle and Tyreek Hill to thrive in because the linebackers have to respect the run game. And on this play here, once again, Brandon Shell going to set that edge. You're going to have Alec Ingold be that lead blocker. And then you're going to have Salvon Ahmed simply follow those blocks, stay inside of Shell and follow Ingold and just, pick up yardage. And that's exactly what the Dolphins need to do. They need to keep doing this. Good block here by Shell. Then you've got Ingold coming up over here. He's gonna block the linebacker. And what do you have? You've got Salvon Ahmed one-on-one versus Teron Johnson. He's able to round the corner and pick up what is basically a first down. I think it might be, second and short. But this is another solid run scheme by the Dolphins, keeping it simple. Alec Ingold, such a good blocker. The more I watch from him, wow, the better he gets. And although Brandon Shell gets turned around here, still, crucial block at the point of attack really helps the Dolphins out here. I'm really liking Brandon Shell the more I watch him. And finally, third quarter, 31-yard line of Buffalo. It might be a different drive. Dolphins are driving, right? 2nd and 6. What do? You run the football. It's been working all night. You take some of that pressure off of Tua's arm and some of that pressure off Tua throwing the football. And by no means did Tua have a bad game against Buffalo. I don't think he had a great game. I'd give him probably like a C plus, right? 234 yards, 2 touchdowns, that's fine, but like didn't get the win. And there were moments where I thought he made some bad throws and some bad errors and some bad mistakes, I guess. But on this play here, once again, it's running the football to perfection. It's just going to be a little, a play trying to get Salvon Ahmed the ball in some space. It's going to be a little pitch to Salvon Ahmed. You're going to have these guys come up, and you're going to have Ingold come up, and you're going to have all these guys come up here, and you're going to have Shell once again trying to set that edge for Ahmed to get a lane. And on this play, Shell does not get the key block, so I won't hype him up. But nonetheless, Ahmed gets outside. Look at all these willing blockers downfield. And then you've just got the ball in the hands of a speedy guy. Think about Jeff Wilson Jr. when he gets back. That's going to be big for him. And then picks up the first down, moves the chains, gets the Dolphins moving forward. This is what I love about the run game. When the run game is working for Miami, they're really, really lethal because, of course, they're going to be able to throw the football. Even if they can't throw the football, they will find ways to throw the football. They'll find ways to beat you deep, right? Tyreek Hill, even against the Chargers, had a long touchdown, right? Tyreek Hill in this game had a touchdown. Jaylen Waddle, even in a game where the passing game wasn't really working on. And I don't think the passing game really was working in this game against the Bills. Jaylen Waddle still had a long touchdown. They will happen just because of how explosive the Dolphins' offense is. But if you're able to complement it with this run game, that's how you make it far in the postseason in cold weather games when you go into Cincinnati or Baltimore and you're up 3 points with 3 minutes left in the game. You need to run it out. This is how you do it, right? You run the football, and it looks good that the Dolphins can run the football effectively, and it hasn't been there all year. And this is what happens when you run the football effectively. It sets up the play-action passing game, and that's really where the Dolphins thrive. That's what they want to do the most. They want to play the RPO game. They want to play the play-action pass game, and that's how they want to beat you. They don't want to beat you by just Tua dropping, taking a 5-step drop, and just trying to fling the ball because defense is gonna play zone, right? They're gonna put a safety in the middle of the field, and that kind of takes away all the Dolphins, attacks through the air because what the Dolphins want to do is they want to hit you quick and inside, right? And if linebackers are just going to be sitting back, there isn't a lot of space. So if you have a good passing, if you have a good rushing attack, which the Dolphins were able to have against the Bills, it creates this moment where the linebackers have to go towards the football, and then it allows the wide receivers to slip in behind. You're going to see it on this play right here. So, to be honest, I think some of the play calling in the fourth quarter against Buffalo was bad. It really was because the Dolphins should have ran the football, right? Especially when they were up. Even when it was tied on first downs and second downs, I think they should have ran the football because it was snowing, and I don't care. I know Tua can throw in the snow. I'm not concerned about that because he had a couple of nice throws in the snow. But at the end of the day, the drive stalled out because Tua was incomplete on a couple balls. Maybe some balls should have been some balls should have been caught. Nonetheless, it didn't happen. It doesn't matter, right? What needs to happen in this situation is you need to run the football. Anyway, doesn't matter. We're moving that in the past. But this is what running the football allows you to do, right? Steps back in the pocket. What is going on here? So the Dolphins want Tyreek Hill across the formation, right? It's 1st and 10. They just want him on this in-breaking route. Basically a slant, an in-breaking slant, more or less. Okay, what's the defense doing? You've got the defense just thinking it's a run. And why is it a run? The Dolphins have been running the ball well all night. What's going to happen? They're going to run the ball. It's in the snow. It makes sense, right? Yeah, absolutely. Instead, it's going to be a play action, right? And you're going to have the play action, and you're going to want to watch these 3 linebackers. Okay, that's the most important thing. Because what you got to understand is it all comes down to these 3 linebackers. If these linebackers sit and they bite, what does that mean? I'm sorry, Tyreek Hill's the fastest receiver in the NFL, right? He's the fastest guy in the NFL. And if these guys hesitate for 1 second, Tyreek Hill is by them. I don't care if they realize it's not a run. I don't care. But what do you see in this situation? You see these 2 linebackers realizing that it's a run and charging towards the football. And then Tremaine Edmonds, he's different, right? He's a special football player, and he's a really talented football player, and he realizes that it's not a run. So you see the weight on his back foot. So he's actually getting back into coverage. But dude, a backpedaling linebacker versus the fastest receiver in the NFL, who's going to win 10 times out of 10? It's going to be the fastest receiver in the NFL. By the time that Edmonds realizes that it's really a pass and that Tua is coming out to this side, he's late to the party. And Tyreek Hill's at full speed. Tremaine Edmonds is at half speed. And as Tua just moves out to his left, no one around him can take all the time in his world to throw that ball. Good catch for Tyreek Hill, puts it in the breadbasket. Tremaine Edmonds is nowhere near that. First down, Dolphins, they move the chains. That is what the run game gives you. So I know Miami didn't get the win against Buffalo, and yes, it was very disappointing, and it was a tough game to watch. It really was. As a Dolphins fan, it was one of the harder games to watch because I knew what was going to happen with 5 minutes left. I was like, of course they're going to drive down, and of course they're going to kick a game-winning field goal. It's happened too many times before. And this is the hard thing about being a Dolphins fan. Late in the season, in cold weather games, you've got to win in Buffalo, you've got to win in Foxborough if you want to make the playoffs, right? And the Dolphins are going to have the opportunity to win in Foxborough if they beat the Packers, they beat the Patriots, they beat the Jets, they're in, right? If they beat the Packers and the Patriots, they're going to need a little help. If they beat the Packers and the Jets, they're going to need a little help. Doesn't matter, right? They've got 3 winnable games, but how do you do that? You continue to establish the running game. And the reason that you do that is because if you just go pass, let's find Tyreek Hill, let's find Jaylen Waddle, let's just keep throwing the ball. And Mike McDaniel wants to do that. He's very hesitant to use the run game, but you need the run game if you want to have success throwing the football. It has to happen. Because what happens is, you throw the football 50 times in a ball game, right? The defense is going to sit back, they're going to play cover 2, they're going to keep a safety really cheating in the middle of the field, they're going to keep their linebackers back. There's going to be no depth between the linebackers and the safeties to throw the ball to to throw the ball to Tyreek Hill or Jaylen Waddle, and that's what the Dolphins want to do. How do you get that to stop? You have to get the linebackers to believe that you are going to run the football by running the football successfully, by running the football well. And how you do that is you keep running behind Brandon Shell, you keep running behind Robert Hunt, and you keep running behind Alec Ingold. Those guys have been fantastic in the run game. You keep going to the right side of that offensive line. Don't get me wrong, Teron Armstead's really good at left tackle too, but running the football wise, I love what I see from Brandon Shell, and I love what I see from Robert Jones, and Alec Ingold's just everywhere on the field. Use Raheem Mostert in those situations. Get him out and about running the football. That is how you win football games, right? Because as soon as that happens, the play action pass works. That's how you get Tyreek Hill and Jaylen Waddle across the field. That's how you get Mike Gesicki involved potentially. That's how you get Durham Smythe in the flat, right? And running upfield for yards after catch. That's how you get the yards after catch game. But if you think Tua can sit back there and sit in the pocket and throw the football 40 times in a game and beat you with an arm against Joe Burrow or against Aaron Rodgers, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, right? Aaron Rodgers next week, or even against if Mike White comes back for week 17, it's not going to happen. And I like Tua, I love Tua, I'm a big fan of Tua. But the Tua hype train needs to cool down a little bit. Don't get me wrong, he's had a fantastic season, but at the end of the day, I don't trust him to throw the football 45 times in a game when the defense knows what he wants to do. He wants to throw over the middle of the field. He wants to throw in between the hash marks, right? He wants to, throw the ball deep, and that's what it comes down to. So with that said, I think that the Dolphins really need to rely on this run game, and it worked against Buffalo. I think once you get Jeff Wilson Jr. back, that's going to be really big for them. He's a different kind of power back. Don't get me wrong, Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson are both power, dynamic, fast running backs, but they give you a little bit of different things. Get them in the open field. Get them in open space that can be really dynamite, especially running in between the tackles. I love how effective Raheem Mostert was in that regard. If that continues to work, linebackers are going to have to defend the run. And what does that do? That allows Jaylen Waddle, that allows Tyreek Hill to really come in and be very dangerous in the passing game. That's exactly what the Dolphins need to do. That's their offense. That's their bread and butter. And the running game and really running the football effectively is how you get to the playoffs, because they're going to need offense to get to the playoffs. They're going to need to put up a lot of points against the Packers, the Jets, and the Patriots. And how you do that, you run the ball effectively, then you throw the football, and that's how you put up numbers. So we'll look for the Dolphins to run the football, as Mike McDaniel really should be hammering that in this Dolphins offense as they try and clinch some postseason play for the first time in 6 years. It's been since 2016 since the Dolphins were in the playoffs. And that time they had a good running attack with Jay. So hopefully the Dolphins can find a way to win some games down the stretch here as they play the Packers, the Jets, and the Patriots. The Patriots first and then the Jets on January 8th to close out the season. It's going to be a big, exciting time for a Dolphins fan. Let's hope that the Dolphins can figure it out. But nonetheless, they're going to have to run the football. And with that said, that's pretty much going to end the video for today. Did you agree with my analysis? Why or why not? Leave your comments and thoughts in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Also, if you're new around here, please drop a like and a sub on today's video. I'd really appreciate that. And with that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. And until next time, see ya.